Hey, aspiring freight dispatchers and owner operator truck drivers. I'm Antoine West, founder of the Revenue Launch AI business operating system, and I'm here with Kizzy Howard. I'll let her introduce herself and her business.
Hello, I'm Kizzy Howard, Lead Operations Coordinator and CEO of Coast to Coast Logistics, helping owner operators increase their revenue and decrease their deadhead mileage.
And today we're going to be speaking about how smart freight dispatchers help owner operators increase revenue. Owner operators are losing revenue because of poor dispatching.
Most owner operators don't need just anybody booking loads. They need a freight dispatcher who understands how to help them increase revenue, reduce deadhead, and protect their trucking business.
That's absolutely true, Kizzy, because booking loads alone will not improve a trucking business. We need to be looking at the different factors you just mentioned. So, poor dispatching creates revenue leaks. Revenue is lost when dispatchers
Book cheap freight, ignore empty miles, leave trucks sitting too long, or when they drop drivers in bad freight markets, or when they fail to plan the next move before the delivery.
These are factors me and Kizzy deal with and help improve every single day within trucking businesses. And also, I want to say if you're looking for contact information of Kizzy Howard, if you're an owner operator and you're looking for a great dispatcher that helps you book high paying freight, that helps decrease deadhead miles, and also that doesn't leave your truck sitting in a bad area or fail to plan for the next day. If you're an owner operator and you're looking for a great freight dispatcher with these traits, I want you to make sure you go below to the description to get Kizzy's contact information. So, the load rate is not the real rate. A load can look good
Until they calculate the loaded miles, empty miles, time tied up into the load, or fuel costs, delivery location, or next load opportunities. See, the real question is, what does the load do for the truck's weekly revenue?
Great. So we want to look at many different factors, not just booking loads, not just the revenue on each load, because when it comes to the how much the load is paying, the loaded miles affect that revenue. If the load is paying $5,000, but $5,000 only gets you $1.50 per mile, that is not going to improve the trucking company because those miles are going to keep the truck tied up, and not even to mention the empty miles. How many empty miles are we occurring to pick up that load that pays $5,000? And also, how long does that load that pays $5,000, how long does it keep the truck tied up? Is that going to keep the truck tied up all week? Do you have multiple different drops on that load? How does the empty miles and the total miles affect fuel costs? We know now fuel costs can be higher than ever before. So, as a dispatcher, you have to think about those factors. Also, when it comes to the delivery location, is it delivering into a bad freight area? As we all should know, as dispatchers and owner operators, sometimes when the load pays a high rate, it's because it's delivering into a slow freight area where the truck can be even tied up after delivery because you can't find a profitable paying load after the delivery location. Here comes next is the next load opportunity. If you're delivering into a slow freight region, that could affect your next load opportunity. And all of these factors determine whether your trucking business is going to be improving or decreasing. So, what does that load that you're booking do to weekly revenue? Owner operators need strategy, not guesswork.
Absolutely, Antoine. See, a good dispatcher should already know where the truck is now, where the freight is paying, or what the freight is paying in that location, how long the truck will be tied up there, and where the truck will be after the delivery, and how to keep the truck moving forward profitably. So, this is something that I work with my dispatchers on quite often so that we can keep our trucks moving, but also keep them moving in a good freight market and with profitability increasing week after week.
Yeah, sounds good. What Kizzy just explained to you that you may have not heard of is this is a Scrum implementation process, basically a process of continual improvement. And as you implement Scrum in your trucking business every week, you should see the process. You should see your trucking business improve from week to week. And you should have meetings every week about your trucking business. So I want Kizzy to explain. Kizzy, if you could explain your profit planning meetings.
Absolutely, no problem. So what I do is, especially with my new carriers, after I get them onboarded, I like to have a weekly profit planning meeting with them until we can build out the plan and the lane strategy. So I start those meetings off by speaking with them about profit first and the different accounts that they need to have set up for their business in order to make sure that their finances is first going to be allocated in the right direction. And then we focus on the strategies in the lanes that they want to run for their truck type and go over the rates in those lanes and any other ways that we can increase their profitability by maybe having them add on TWIC, TSA, or hazmat if they don't have those things already in place. So that also increases their rate with profitability going forward.
And oftentimes I attend those profit planning meetings with Kizzy and her multiple owner operator truck drivers. And it's so much value that Kizzy offers in those meetings that I could talk about. But I want to just point out one of the most important parts Kizzy just mentioned is profit first. So she helps her owner operators implement profit first strategies into their trucking business. And also, I'll leave a link for the book Profit First in the description. But it's a great book that Kizzy and I have both read, and it teaches profit first. So the strategies that she helps implement into those owner operators business is to have a revenue account that all the revenue from the trucking business comes into that one revenue account, and then the money is split percentage wise between other funds. And this happens automatically. And one of those funds is the maintenance fund. So Kizzy suggests a certain percentage of the revenue to automatically go to the maintenance fund. And over my 10 years of being in the trucking industry, I've seen so many owner operator trucking businesses fail due to having an unexpected maintenance issue that they cannot cover. So that the truck goes down for a maintenance issue, and then the truck's down, so it's not generating money. So that further puts them in the hole. So Kizzy helps owner operators, and especially new owner operators, implement that profit first strategy from day one. So she makes sure that due to her dispatching services, that enough revenue is coming into the trucking business to where a certain percentage of that revenue can always be transferred to the maintenance account. Because as we all know, over time, as the truck increases the amount of miles that's on the truck, it's going to have more wear and tear. So she's actually implementing strategies that help save the trucking company from day one. So that's really great, Kizzy. You're doing those weekly profit planning meetings. So she's going far and beyond just booking loads. And this is one of the strategies we implement to help owner operators increase revenue. So it's a big difference between just a regular run-of-the-mill freight dispatcher and somebody that looks at the overall trucking business holistically. The goal is increasing revenue and decreasing deadhead.
So the dispatcher's job is not to book a load. The dispatcher's job is to help the owner operator build a better week and week to week. So the more loaded miles instead of empty miles, less wasted movement, and better freight areas or lane strategy, and stronger weekly revenue. So each week, when we follow these steps, instead of just focusing on booking the highest paying load, the focus should always be to get more loaded miles instead of empty ones, less wasted movement, meaning we want the truck to always be moving toward targeted areas that has more freight and higher rates, and better freight areas, and also stronger weekly revenue goals. So each week we're trying to hit target revenue goal and keep increasing past that goal each week.
So definitely. So it's certain trucking analytics that need to be tracked week to week, and then they need to be improved week to week, because what gets tracked gets improved. So some of those trucking analytics that Kizzy tracks that all trucking companies need to track is, for example, profit or revenue, profit margin, deadhead miles, deadhead percentage, fuel expenses, amongst others also. So what Kizzy does is when she has an owner operator sign up with her logistics solutions business, she gets benchmark analytics. She runs them the first week or two, and she gets an average trucking analytics on those metrics that I just named. So those are benchmark numbers. And then every week she runs a Scrum implementation program where she sees what happens the week before. She has her profit planning meetings and she implements ideas to increase a trucking business's overall profit. And one very important metric that we need to start looking at more in trucking that Kizzy always is speaking about is profit margin. We want to always make sure the trucking business is generating an increased amount of money and decreasing expenses. And things like fuel expenses is going to help on that. Wasted miles or empty miles or deadhead miles, as you often hear it called, those decreasing those metrics, decreasing the deadhead miles is going to automatically decrease the fuel expenses. So we want revenue to increase and we want expenses to decrease, and that's going to have an effect on your profit margin. For example, Kizzy has a lot of owner operators when she speaks to them on strategy calls, as she mentioned before, sometimes they don't have TWIC and TSA, and those certifications can bring opportunities for higher paying loads. And just in case you don't know what TWIC and TSA is, I'm going to let Kizzy explain them both to you.
The transportation, what TWIC is a transportation worker identification credential card. And that allows truck drivers to have access to ports, terminals, shipping facilities, and certain secure locations that they would otherwise not have access to. And those workers will then have access to secure areas and facilities and vessels without needing an escort. And when you have that TWIC card and you don't need an escort, that allows you to move in a timely fashion to get the freight and get back on route to the delivery time.
Okay, sounds great. Great explanation of TWIC. And also, you'll just explain TSA.
So TSA gives you access to ports, airports, terminals, shipping facilities, and certified secure locations.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And if you need any help applying for TWIC and or TSA, make sure you just look at the description below and you can reach out to Kizzy directly. And I'm sure she'll be glad to help you with that. This is why owner operators don't trust new dispatchers.
Owner operators in general don't tend to trust new dispatchers because they've been practiced on before and lost revenue before due to hiring an inexperienced dispatcher. And they've had dispatchers who didn't understand the business fully, so that also hurted their revenue. They also, and what I hear often, have had people book loads without thinking about the profit. So that affects the overall business of the owner operator. And so now owner operators want or would like dispatchers who are already operating with a system such as Coast to Coast Logistics.
Sounds good. And if you're an aspiring freight dispatcher, so many times I hear that it's so hard for new dispatchers to sign a truck driver. And that's the major constraint in the freight dispatching industry. Most people would think it's an end of the pipeline constraint, such as the dispatching part, but actually the constraint is further up the pipeline. You heard me speak on any of my videos, you hear me speak about the pipeline. A dispatching business has 4 departments: your marketing department, sales department, onboarding department, and operations or dispatching department. So the constraint is not in the operations or dispatching department. It's at the very top of the pipeline in the marketing department. And what happens is new dispatchers market their business in such a way to where owner operators are able to tell they're not operating. They don't have an operating system. So many new dispatchers has flooded the market over time, and they don't actually have an operating business. And they believe that they can learn and research about freight dispatching and not have an operating system and then sign up their first owner operator. But really, owner operators are looking for dispatchers that are already operating and already have momentum in their freight dispatching business, such as Kizzy having access to brokers and shippers already. She has experienced dispatchers working within her company, Coast to Coast Logistics, and even her own experience. So she already has momentum in her business. And basically, when a freight dispatcher, a new freight dispatcher, attempts to sign up an owner operator without a functioning business, without momentum already, the entire reason an owner operator is reaching out to a dispatcher because they need more momentum in their trucking business. So the old way was learn, take a course or a class, and try to start a dispatch business without an operating system or without momentum. And the world's moving so fast these days. And because of the economy, high fuel prices, owner operators need a proven operating system to sign up for your freight dispatch company. So that's why I created the Revenue Launch AI business operating system. So as soon as you, as an aspiring freight dispatcher, attempt, or before you even start your business or attempt to sign up your first owner operator, our operating system is already running and you already have momentum in your operations department, and you just plug in directly to our already functioning operating department with experienced dispatchers and with other experienced LBOs or logistic business operators such as Kizzy and the other members. So you get that experience implemented in your dispatch business from day one. Now you're starting with the operational system. So what Kizzy and I help owner operators see.
So we help owner operators look at their revenue goals, their truck expenses, their current loads or current lane strategy, deadhead problems, dispatch strategy, and scaling opportunities. Because before you scale, you need to know where the money is leaking. So we help owner operators to have an overview of their profit leaks currently when they come in and how to plug them so that we can move forward and increase their revenue much quicker.
Well said, well said. So this proves why dispatching is more than learning, because the owner operators are wanting to sign up with freight dispatching services because they have certain constraints within their trucking business that need to be alleviated or healed to help cash flow more efficiently. So that's why you, as a aspiring freight dispatcher, you need an operational system from day one, and you can already have experience through experienced personnel working within your dispatching service on how to alleviate those constraints. And basically those constraints, they can't keep going on and on from day to day, week to week, month to month, because as we let those constraints carry on, they're experiencing a declining rate of cash flow, which affects their entire trucking operation and their family life. So you must have an already running, already functioning operating system from day one of your freight dispatch business, and that alleviates all pain points in your freight dispatch business. It alleviates every pain point in the marketing department as far as being able to sign up and get the interest of drivers. It alleviates constraints in the sales department on knowing what to say on sales calls for drivers to sign up with you. And it alleviates problems in the onboarding department, even owner operators wanting you to send their freight dispatch agreement to you and then receive it back. So basically when you already have an operating system, they want to receive your freight dispatching agreement and they're going to return it back to you because you're already operational, and they can tell that you can alleviate their pain points immediately. And that leads to the owner operator coming down to your operating department or your dispatching department, where you perform the work and you implement the solutions that you spoke about in the marketing department inside the owner operator's trucking business. Freight dispatching is revenue strategy.
Absolutely. So if you're a dispatcher and your value is not just finding loads, your value is helping the owner operators make better business decisions for their business each week. And if you're an owner operator, the right dispatch system can help you protect your truck, your time, and your revenue.
So thank you for watching this video. If you're an aspiring freight dispatcher and you want to start your freight dispatching business the right way with an already functioning operating system and not attempting to learn and practice on an owner operator trucking business that has responsibilities and need immediate increasing revenue, if you want that operating system installed in your business from day one, so you'll be able to attract owner operators and sign them up for your dispatching business, and also to increase their revenue once you start dispatching them, or once your experienced personnel starts dispatching them. Make sure you click the link below to apply for the Revenue Launch AI business operating system. And if you're an owner operator looking for a great dispatching business, I'll let Kizzy tell you what to do from here.
Please feel free to click the link below. Follow me on TikTok, DM me, and connect with me as soon as possible so that we can get on a strategy call and get your trucking business on the right road.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Let's get it.